go. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. Especially for a momentous occasion. I was bringing this up earlier, but this is the final House Open Cup of the year.
Oh, that is true. That is last of the year because those are bi-weekly. So unless they are doing another one, has it been confirmed that it's the last one?
I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know.
I mean, technically, they still could like fit one in.
We could have another House Cup tomorrow. We could have one right after this one.
Guys, what has PvP done tonight? What has been happening? Anyway, we are now in game already. We are on side entirely, and we are looking at the first of our Protoss players, because apparently there's a lot of them. It's the pink Protoss Polish player. That order is wrong, but whatever. From Platinum Heroes, it is ArT.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the red Polish Protoss player representing Team Blazer. It is Krystianer.
Okay, so what should I have you had more PvPs today yet?
No.
Or is this the first PvP?
This is our first. We're doing our best here to feature some of the other races out there. We're doing our best to feature some of the other players as well. Players like, as we saw, Aristory, Mishu. We casted Angry for the first time earlier, which was interesting.
No.
Snogstar as well.
Yeah, I've never seen him play.
Yeah, me neither. He played mech. Yeah. There was a lot of mech. There was a lot of BCs. Yeah. He's quite a character as well. He was BMing a little bit, which was interesting to see.
I mean, he is called Angry.
He is called, yeah. I was like, what? I mean, what do we expect? You know,
The clue is in the name, you know.
It's true. It's very true. Very true. Shaking my head. But yeah, it's been a fun tournament. We've been trying to avoid the PvPs, but it's Poland. You can only avoid it for so long.
I mean, only one of the races starts with a P, so I mean.
It's true.
So I mean, it's inevitable to have the Polish PvP eventually. Yeah. Unfortunately, that means we can't have all the Protoss players playing in pink. Mm-hmm. But I mean, speaking of which, this is probably awful for broadcast. Pink versus red.
I mean, I'd settle for pink versus purple. I'd settle for it.
We had that before, yeah.
That
was a thing.
But we are just settling into this, and so far nothing too crazy. Pretty standard openers overall. I say that we had ArT try to hide a pylon, and he actually went for a gate expand. Very interesting. Actually didn't throw down the second gateway here in the main, so a much more economic opener out of ArT.
Okay. I have not seen them play for a while. Let's just put it that way. And I just wonder who is technically the favorite here, because we've been seeing a lot of Krystianer in the recent tournaments, but ArT has not been as active, I feel like, or maybe I just missed him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, ArT hasn't been as active for... I mean, he took a break. Remember, he took a break at the start of the year. He was gone. I thought he retired, and then suddenly he came back. So you're never really retired. You're never really gone. Just like Meeks, still competing.
And then Platinum Heroes got another ArT.
Yeah, they got another ArT, which is totally not confusing whatsoever. But I agree. I do want to, like, it's one of those things where, like, I favor Krystianer here. Out of all players left in the tournament, I favor him. But PvP. So it's like,
it is a PvP. Yeah. And it looks like we have our first differences, as we have Twilight Council already on the way for ArT. I don't think Krystianer has one, no.
Yeah, we do see Krystianer going to be committing here to a War Prism, so he's going to be a little bit active on the map. It's just a really interesting game so far. Basically, Krystianer's going to be moving out, trying to go for some Adept harass. Likewise, ArT is doing the same. The goal of these Prisms is to try to ferry these Adepts into mineral lines to get into some of these bases and to kill probes.
Are they going to pass each other? They're going right the same direction. They're meeting each other in the middle of the map, and it's really the Spider-Man meme moment.
Yeah, they do spot each other. Stalkers move out immediately here for Krystianer. He does meet up with the Adepts, and he's going to be able to shut them down. The Prism a little bit too far away, but we do save all 4 of them.
Yeah, the Adepts were saved, but they were also stopped. Meanwhile, at the same time, in the base of ArT, we have 2 Adepts from Krystianer, and they will unload, and actually Krystianer is leaving them there.
Yeah, the Adepts, they try to get into the mineral line, and they can one-shot workers, but it looks like they do not quite make it in. I mean, I say that, we do have more Adepts here in the natural.
Oh, the Guardian shield is interesting. Does it actually work for Adepts? I guess it does, right?
It does, but the DPS is quite a bit high here, so 7 probes go down. Pretty good damage so far. Meanwhile, across the map, ArT wasn't able to achieve too much at all here. He was focusing on his defense, but he still has the Adepts available. He still has potential to deal some counter damage.
Yeah, the thing is that Krystianer did lose those Adepts, so he will have to warp in new ones. Meanwhile, ArT is trying to go in, and he will meet the StarCraft, so I don't think he's getting any damage done here anyway.
Oh yeah, he is going to be forced back. So far, good defense from Krystianer. Because of this, I would say that he's in a much better position here. He's taking a 3rd base. He's ahead in the economy. ArT does have a lead with Blink, so maybe he can make something happen with that, but it's going to be a small window because Krystianer isn't too far behind with his own.
Yeah, his Twilight Currency was much later than ArT, but his Blink is actually quite close, so I don't think ArT will be able to use that window. I guess it looks like we're just gonna have to like mass proper armies and then fight.
Yeah, it looks like both players are going to be backing up for the time being. We're getting into our 3 base economies here. As we do kind of settle into this, and ArT's going to be going for a much more committed style. Both players in different ways. We have Glaive Adepts for ArT, we have DTs for Krystianer.
DTs, I mean, I expected. We are looking at the Protoss game, but Glaives, that's an interesting choice for me.
Yeah, it's a very all-in way to play. Basically, Glaive Adepts are very similar to Charge Lots in that they can take a lot of hits. It takes a lot of Stalker and Immortal hits to kill Glaive Adepts, so you can try to dive on an army and try to like dive on and just go for one big push. Likewise, you can also use that to try to wreak havoc in the mineral line and get a lot of economic damage done. For now, though, the army's going to be clashing, and we do trade Stalker for Stalker.
Yeah, look at Krystianer is trying to press the issue, and he is getting a few units here and there, but I mean, nothing major yet. That Warp is still threatening.
It is threatening that main base. ArT, meanwhile, he has the Immortal advantage, so even though he has less Stalkers, even though his army is less mobile, it is beefier here. There's a lot more firepower in those Immortals. In a head-to-head fight, Krystianer has to be careful. He does pick off one more Stalker. Oh.
Yeah, barely doesn't get another one, and it looks like ArT is ready to chase this, but at the same time the Warp is, and actually ArT is prepared, but not for the DTs.
There's an Observer though, and it looks like we do have detection available. One Stalker goes down at the same time. ArT, he is on the chase. He's going for the main army. Another DTs does peel off into the natural though.
Yeah, there's no detection here. The Observer has to move away, but at the same time the probes are dying at the 3rd base as well, and another 7 probes going down.
Yeah, another 7 workers. Krystianer is taking a 4th base behind this as well, so he is so far ahead in the economy. Krystianer, he has 63 probes to the 48 of his opponents. But ArT does have maybe a better army, so we can still pull this off, even with those Glaive Adepts. And there we go, 8 Adepts are on the way.
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, with the economical like gap being wider, like ArT has to start like making things happen. Like he has to go across the map. He has to see if he can get some damage done, and he very well may. Looking at the army of Krystianer, like ArT does look pretty strong, but the thing is, will he be able to use it?
Yeah, again, as we mentioned before when we saw the Glaives, it's just a very all-in way to play. It's like one fight, one big fight is all that ArT has. Unfortunately, he's kind of forced into it. Like, there's no other option because of his economy. Krystianer is going for a big counterattack at the same time. ArT is pushing as well, so Krystianer is out of position.
Yeah, and more probes will be going down, so ArT just has to go completely all in with this. He's going to the natural, and there is no defense, and it looks like we're going straight for a base trade.
Yeah, we're going for a base trade. Probes are going to be evacuating for ArT, so he does manage to escape. He gets a kill on the natural base. At the same time, though, Krystianer also pushing in, getting a kill on the natural base of his opponent. There are more bases, though, here for Krystianer. He does have a 4th, bear that in mind. But an F8 shade in, and we're splitting up.
Yeah, I mean, he does have more bases, but he will soon have literally no workers. I mean, ArT still has the 3rd base. I think the workers are currently running away from the 3rd base, but that's about it. That's how much he will save.
Yeah, Krystianer is going towards the top right-hand corner of the map. He does take down the economy here. A lot of these gateways are still powered. It looks like Krystianer is going for the recall.
Where is he recalling to though? Oh, he's recalling to the 4th base to face the adepts. Very interesting. I mean, he is covering the probes that are escaping to the top corner. But is this enough to fight this?
Yeah, looking at the army supplies here, the army supplies are very close. I still want to favor ArT because of all his immortals. That does just give him a big X factor here as he shuts down the production. Every gateway is going to be going down at the same time. The gateways are also falling here for ArT as well. He's down to these Blink Stalkers, and so far he's maneuvering well. He doesn't lose anything yet.
Yeah, the important thing is that Krystianer did split his army, so this is only part of his army. So if he doesn't move properly, he may lose quite a lot of it. But at the same time, ArT is running out of buildings. He doesn't have another base.
I'm a little bit surprised. He has all these probes, but the probes, they go down. ArT has one worker left, one probe here towards the bottom left-hand corner of the map. He can afford another base, but bases are falling here fast for ArT.
Yeah, he has to be careful. He may be just eliminated if he doesn't place a building soon. I think he still has these few pylons on the map, so he won't be eliminated. But yeah, there you go. There we have another nexus in the bottom left.
Yeah, I was about to say that he has enough for a nexus. Meanwhile, the armies are going to be clashing here in the center of the map. The adepts are looking for a dive here on the army.
Yeah, they will try to dive in. They will snipe a few units. I don't think they can get an immortal, but the zealots are running straight in.
Really good force fields from Krystianer. He does avoid all those immortals. They're stuck on the other side of the force fields. Every adept goes down. Krystianer, he takes a beautiful fight.
Yeah, and most of the units are going down. The Blink Micro is nice, but it's not enough. And Krystianer will be taking game number 1.
GG, well played. Again, really good positioning there from Krystianer. Really good force fields as well. Even though the advantage that ArT had were those immortals, they did nothing in that final fight. They were stuck and they couldn't engage.
Yeah, the immortals were stuck, so they weren't contributing. At the same time, the adepts were squished between the force field and charge loss, so they also met the end quite quickly. And yeah, this was a really nice fight for Krystianer.
Really nice fight. The really chaotic end of the game, of course, with the base trade and ArT cutting it close when it came to refusing to throw down a nexus.
Oh yeah.
But in the end, it came down to that final fight.
Yeah, let me tell you, that was anxiety inducing when I was like, oh, well, I have 400 minerals, but I have to pick the right place for a base. Okay, I'm gonna take my time.
Yes, did take his time in the end, and I mean, thankfully he threw it down, but it didn't really come down to that. And with that, Krystianer takes game number 1, but it's a best of 3. Best of 3, so ArT can, of course, come back in this. And again, even though Krystianer did take the game, it was still pretty close and still could have gone either way, really.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like again, as you said, like a lot depended on the fights, on the positioning. Like the base trade was really close. Like both players were out of production. They had their last buildings on the map. It's just that the final fight went the way of Krystianer.
It did go his way. With that, though, we're going to be getting ready to continue our semifinals, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun, definitely covering the House Open Cup. It's been really cool to see Kashin bring this all together as well towards the end of the year. I think you mentioned before, but I think we have a confirmed date for the offline event, right?
Oh yeah, I believe so. Hold on. Let me quickly find the announcement again. I'm pretty sure they have a Discord event on their Discord.
Oh.
So that's an easy way to check, but it is January 27th. It's a Saturday.
Okay.
At least in Europe, it's a Saturday.
Yeah, so for those that are curious, this event, these bi-weekly online events that we've been having is sponsored by a gaming bar in Poland, in Warsaw, in the capital Poland. And I believe we've been waiting for the announcement of when the offline event is going to happen at the end of this season of bi-weekly events, because these online tournaments, they've been providing points for the players to actually be invited and seeded into the event itself. And apparently it was recently announced the final date for the offline event.
Yeah, so it will be at the end of January in the as you said, the gaming bar in Warsaw, in Warszawa.
There you go.
I'm trying to remember the address. I think Marszałkowska 64? 64?
64. Not 69?
No. I think it's 64.
There you go.
I can be wrong.
So
That's just purely of my memory, and I'm not famous for having good memory, so you know.
there you go. So if you happen to be local in Poland, then be sure you're a part of that. Be sure you can come together here. I mean, there's a lot going on in Poland, of course, with I Am Katowice on the horizon. But before that, hey, we got our local Polish event as well. So yeah, really, really good time to be a StarCraft fan in Poland.
It's like literally 2 weeks before Katowice.
Yeah.
So yeah, the schedule is pretty tight. But anyway, we are now loaded into game number 2, and we are on Oceanborn, Ellie. Looking at once again at our, hold on, let me get the order correctly. Pink Polish Protoss player of Platinum Heroes.
Yeah.
It is ArT. I might have counted on my fingers.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Polish Protoss player representing Team Blazer, leading the series 1-0. It is Krystianer. With that, we are getting. Sorry, I was just updating the Twitch title. Just.
Oh, good.
Beautiful.
So far, so good. So far, we have the mirrored builds, but I think it was similar in the first game.
Yeah, now that you bring that up here, we, for the first time, do have ArT going for a 2-gate opener. Last game, he went for a gate expand. It was a little more economic, but this time it's a little more standard here on Oceanborn.
Okay. Yeah, no hidden pylons yet either, so doesn't look like either of the players will be going for that. And I guess we just have to wait to see where it goes.
Yeah, we will wait and see. Basically, we're waiting for the first 2 units to come out. The Cyber Cores are about to finish up, and then we can go into either Double Adept, Double Stalker, or Stalker Sentry.
Nice.
Okay,
thanks, guys.
Yeah,
really good.
It's all good. It's all good. So Double Stalker from Krystianer and Stalker Sentry from ArT.
Yeah, I thought they're gonna be a bit more aggressive, but hey. I mean, Stalkers can still be useful.
Yeah, they definitely can be. As ArT is going for a much more defensive opener with the Sentry. The big reason why this has, oh my god, the big reason why this has so much value here in the early game is because you can scout your opponent with the hallucination just to get a read on any kind of aggressive kind of build that's coming across the map. But ArT is going for a Robo as his tech of choice.
Yeah, it looks like Krystianer is going for that Sentry as well, so it looks like basically they're getting the same units, just in slightly different order. And yeah, we're just gonna have to see what they're gonna do with that. Krystianer already getting his Twilight Council before the Robo, so... I mean, what do you think? What do you think ArT is planning with the Robo? What is he dropping?
So, Robo
or is
first...
he just going Immortal?
Yeah, Robo first is like a very defensive way to play. It's a very scared way to play as well, which is interesting to me. Because of this, his Nexus is late. Krystianer, his is already well underway. And ArT, he's starting early Immortal production. Basically, this is to counteract any kind of one-base all-in. Hallucination does come in, and now ArT is aware that his opponent has been economic and has a delayed tech here in favor of Nexus.
Delay tech, but he already does have Blink on the way. Meanwhile, ArT obviously does not have a Twilight Council. But as you said, he is being defensive, he is getting those Immortals, and I wonder if ArT was just scared after previous game, considering that it went all the way to the base trade.
Yeah, I'm curious as well. So the hallucination does confirm how late this expansion is. Again, Krystianer's is already done. And he's also aware of the Robo. We see the Prism on the way, so ArT is going to be pushing. This is a really interesting build from ArT. He has potential with this, I guess. Like, he has a lot of force fields available. Before Blink, force fields are going to be really, really crucial when it comes to these big fights. But yeah, ArT, he's pushing.
I'm not gonna lie, that single Immortal just you know, having a stroll around the map is a little scary. It's like if it walks into the wrong neighborhood.
Yeah, It's gonna get jumped. It's very stressful, but we are pushing. And again, as you mentioned, Blink is still not quite done. So before that happens, every single force field can slice up the army, and it can kind of really dictate the pace of this game. Meanwhile, Krystianer, he has 2 shield batteries already. Upon seeing the opener, he's aware that Immortals are pushing.
Yeah, the blink is about to be done though. Only 10 seconds left, and it looks like ArT is sniping on probes before that. So we'll see if that will matter.
Yeah, we have the overcharge. We have 2 shield batteries as well. Good target firing on one of those stalkers, and with this, we're going to easily defend the concave in favor of Krystianer. He's going to shut this down.
Yeah, he's even jumping on the war prisons. He's gonna take it down, and yeah, just like that, Krystianer takes game number 2.
GG, well played. Krystianer scouting, getting a really good read on what his opponent was up to, getting eyes on the late expansion on the fast robo, took it seriously, prepared, and yeah, had just a really solid fight back at home.
I feel like ArT also, just like how you were saying, he was kind of hoping that Blink wasn't done yet, because he did see it on the way, but it wasn't quite finished. But unfortunately for him, like, Blink finished just as the fight started, and in the end, those force feeds didn't really matter.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if he had attacked only a couple of seconds sooner, then he would have been able to take advantage of how late the tech was from Krystianer. It would have been a very small window, right? Very small window. It would have been very crisp, but it was there, it was available, but ArT did just barely miss it.
Yeah, unfortunate for ArT, but I mean, Krystianer really did really well this series, and he will be taking this series 2-0, moving on to the finals.
Yeah, Krystianer, he's going to be our first finalist, our first Protoss in the finals, but we're still here to determine which Protoss faces him in those finals, as our next match, our next series is going to be Papi versus Rodzin.